15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amosu.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amosu.
Carrying illegal firearms. The battle for Central African Republic city of Bangasso. Myanmar Aung San Suu Kyi faces new charge amid protest. Marketers raise petrol price to 170 naira at depots of a sachet. And updates, Mbappe hits hat-trick as PSG beats Barcelona 4-1. You're welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I'm Nicholas Akosile Walter. Please stay with us as we'll bring you details of our news after this short break. You're welcome back and thanks for joining us. Now the news in full. Senate seeks to ban carrying illegal firearms. The Senate demanded a stiffer punishment for anyone who bears illegal firearms in the country. The Red Chamber said the action would checkmate all forms of criminal activities in Nigeria. Senate President Ahmad Lawan made the call in his contribution to a debate on a bill titled the Firearms Act Cap F28 LFN 2004 Amendment Bill 2021 sponsored by Senator Uba Sani from Kaduna Central. The bill was passed in the 8th National Assembly but was not assented to by the President Muhammadu Buhari. Lawan said that the security situation in the country could be made much better if the proliferation of illegal firearms was adequately curtailed. He commended the sponsor of the bill and all of them in the Senate for remaining consistent on discussing the security situation in the country, and added that the security situation would have been far better if they are able to control the proliferation of firearms in the country. He referred the bill to the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters. He urged the panel to engage with the executive arm of government to see where the contentious issues were if they had not been done by the sponsor of the bill so that they will be on the same page. And moving forward, EFCC defends new chair as graft allegations surfaces. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission observed its new chairman, Abdul Rashid Bawa, of allegations of corruption. A few hours after President Muhammadu Buhari appointed him as the FCC chairman, and there are reports of his involvement in corruption. But the commission defended him, saying he had no corruption record. The FCC spokesman, Mr. Wilson Owujaren, says this in a statement while reacting to reports that Bawa was arrested and removed from his position as per Harcourt's zonal head of the commission for allegedly diverting 224 forfeited trucks. The diversion of 224 forfeited trucks was one of the allegations levied against Magu, which was brought up before the Salami-led panel. Barr was also said to have appeared before the panel over the issue, but said he had no hand in the auction of the asset as it was supervised by a different department. The FCC statement titled Abdul Rashid Bawa has no corruption record. The FCC states that the Commission wishes to state categorically that Mr. Bawa was never arrested or detained over sale of any asset. As zonal head of the Port Harcourt office of the Commission in 2019, Bawa's responsibility did not include a sale of assets, as the Commission has a full-fledged Directorate of Assets Forfeiture and Recovery Management, which remit such matters. In another development, ACF, Afenifere and others fought Buhari's silence on Heather's menace. The Pan-Niger Delta Forum, the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Organization, Afenifere and the Arewa Consultative Forum challenged the President Muhammadu Buhari over his silence on killings and kidnappings by headsmen. The Pan-Dev, Afenifere and Pan-Northern Group, the ACF, challenged the President to speak out on killings by headers. The ACF specifically stated that there was nothing wrong in a statement by the Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, who asked Buhari to condemn killer headsmen publicly. Akeredolu had earlier said what they expect from Mr. President is for him to come out and let Nigerians know that he does not support criminality. He once said if they find anybody with arms without license, they should be arrested. Security agencies must be at work without rest. Everyone has said no to open grazing, then the law should follow. But the President, while receiving delegation of Bonu Yobe Elders Forum at the Presidential Villa Abuja, contributed the upheavals being experienced in parts of the country to a few people with resources and influence. Condemning Buhari, Pandev stated that the continued silence of a president on the killings and attacks by headsmen in some parts of the country was suggestive that he had sympathy for them. And now, coming quickly from around Africa, the battle for Central African Republic city of Bangassou. When rebels came to Central African Republic city of Bangassou, the area's top official, Pierrette Benguere, was forced to hole up in a United Nations base for a month. Now Bangassou, formerly home to around 30,000 people, is a ghost town. Its plight symbolic not only of the recent rebellion but also of a long-running struggle to reset the presence of a state in a country where most of the territory is lawless. For Benguere to speak to the people of Bangassou, the capital of the Mboma prefecture, of which she is the top representative, she went not to the city but the forest that surrounds it. Thousands of families who fled the violence, having dug in there, cutting branches to weave shelters in the forest around 700 kilometers east of the capital, Bangui. They are among the 200,000 people displaced after 6 of the 14 armed groups that control 2/3 of the country's range in a peace park with President Faustin Archange Touadéra in mid-December. The 6 armed groups joined forces and launched an offensive vowing to disrupt December's election and march on the capital in what the government called an attempted coup. But the rebels could not stop Touadéra's re-election in December 27's votes, in which not even 1 in 2 voters were able to cast their ballots because of insecurity. On January 3rd, several hundred heavily armed men attacked government troops in Bangaso. They also assaulted the highly trained paramilitary forces of Russian private security firm Wagner. Moscow, which backs Tondero, flew in the reinforcement in late December, while Rwanda also sent troops to bolster the ill-equipped and trained Central African Army. And still coming from around Africa, on Ebola, World Health Organization alerts 6 African nations over new resurgence. The World Health Organization, WHO, has alerted 6 African countries to watch out for potential cases of Ebola after it emerged in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Guinea. The Republic of Congo declared the emergence of Ebola on February 7th, while Guinea declared the outbreak on Sunday. The World Health Organization's Margaret Harris says they have already alerted the 6 countries around, including Sierra Leone and Liberia, and they are moving very fast to prepare and be ready to look for a potential infection. Meanwhile, the Ebola vaccination campaign kicked out Monday in areas where the epidemic was first reported. Between 2013 and 2016, more than 11,000 people died in the West Africa Ebola epidemic, which began in Guinea. Ebola infects humans through close contact with infected animals such as chimpanzees and fruit bats. It then spread between humans by direct contact with infected blood, fluids, and organs. It can also be spread indirectly through contact with contaminated environment. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you updates from Asia. Please don't go anywhere.
Presidency approves creation of $2.4 billion infrastructure firm. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the launch of an infrastructure company as Nigeria, which is Africa's largest oil producer, moves to steer itself out of a likely economic shrinkage. The company, named Infraco, is expected to grow its capital and assets to 15 trillion naira in due season to finance public projects like roads, rails, and power. Laolo Akande, the vice president's spokesman, has said that it is being set up in partnership with the private sector. The government is seeking to expand investments to stimulate recovery from an impending second recession in 4 years. A committee charged with getting the company started will be chaired by Vice President.
I will be in Kebbi for Impact 2021. Kebbi State will witness the move of God like you've never seen before.
As I see you now, your pastor is planning to send you to Cameroon.
God is going to be moving mightily. There's going to be signs, wonders, and it's going to be impact.
And miracles everywhere. For 18 years, this woman could not walk except with the aid.
Let her walk now. Walk now. Look at another crutches again inside the crowd.
God is going to be reaching out to us mightily, and there's going to be a great move of the Spirit of God.
Date 18th and 19th February 2021 by 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily. Generational Impact 2021 Apostle Johnson Suleiman, happening at Filin Sukua Horse Race Field, Benin Kebbi, Kebbi State, Nigeria. For inquiries, please call. Grace is available.
You're welcome back, and now updates from Asia. Myanmar coup. Aung San Suu Kyi faces new charge amid protests. Myanmar's detained opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi has been handed a second criminal charge on the day she appeared in court via video link. Ms. Suu Kyi, who was earlier charged with processing illegal walkie-talkies, is now also alleged to have violated the country's natural disaster law. It is not clear what the new charge issue relates to. Myanmar's military earlier repeated its promise to hold fresh elections and relinquish power as protests continue. Anti-coup demonstrators are demanding the release of the elected leaders, including Ms. Suu Kyi, following the military coup on 1st of February. Ms. Suu Kyi made a brief virtual appearance at a court in the capital, Nay Pyi Taw. She reported answered questions about legal arrangements and representation. Her next court appearance is scheduled to take place on the 1st of March. Zomin too said that Ms. Suu Kyi had been confined to her home for her own safety and that she was comfortable and healthy. Now, more updates coming from United States of America. Trump attacks DOE leader McConnell. Former President Donald Trump has launched a scathing personal attack on fellow Republican Mitch McConnell. Mitch is a sullen and unsmiling political hawk, said Mr. Trump, and if Republican senators are going to stay with him, they will not win again. Mr. McConnell, who led the Senate for years, voted to acquit Mr. Trump in his impeachment trial last week. But he then attacked him as morally responsible for the U.S. Capitol riot because of his election fraud lies. In a speech on the Senate floor, he implied Mr. Trump should face criminal and civil litigation because he was still liable for everything he did while in office. And quickly we'll go straight to business news now. Marketers raise petrol price to 170 naira as depot sulfur shortage. Few marketers have started adjusting their petrol pump prices amid a supply shortage facing private depot in Apapa. It was observed that some filling stations in Lagos and Ogun states increased the pump price of petrol to 170 naira per litre from 162 naira per litre. Some of the stations were Capital Oil and Gas, Fat Beams and Armor Oil, all along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Another station, ENQUIRY Retail, adjusted its pump price to 165 naira per litre from 162 naira per litre. The National Operation Controller Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Mike Osatui, said that members of his association had to increase the pump price because they bought the product at 160 naira to 161 naira per litre from depot owners. It was earlier reported that IPMAN members disrupted loading of petroleum products of private depot in Apapa as well as Ibadan, Ejigbo and Mosimi depot belonging to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. They picketed the facilities to protest their inability to get products due to a new payment method introduced by the Petroleum Products Marketing Company, a subsidiary of the NNPC. And still on business news, Presidency approves creation of $2.4 billion US infrastructure firm, and that's going to be coming from our business correspondent. Please stay.
Presidency approves creation of $2.4 billion infrastructure firm. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the launch of an infrastructure company as Nigeria, which is Africa's largest oil producer, moves to steer itself out of a likely economic shrinkage. The company, named Infraco, is expected to grow its capital and assets to 15 trillion naira in due season to finance public projects like roads, rails and power. Laolo Akande, the vice president's spokesman, has said that it is being set up in partnership with the private sector. The government is seeking to expand investments to stimulate recovery from an impending second recession in 4 years. A committee charged with getting the company started will be chaired by Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, while Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele will chair INT'L. On the other end, the Managing Director of the NSIA, the President of the AFC, representatives of the Nigerian Governors Forum, and the Ministry of Finance will also help form the board, along with 3 independent directors from the private sector.
And coming up next is sports news. Please stay with us as we'll bring you details of sports news after the short break.
I will be in Kebbi for Impact 2021. Kebbi State will witness the move of God like it's never seen before.
As I see you now, your pastor is planning to send you to Cameroon.
God is going to be moving mightily. There's going to be signs, wonders, and it's going to be impact.
And miracles everywhere. For 18 years, this woman could not walk except with the aid.
Let her walk now. Walk now. Look at another crutches again inside the crowd.
God is going to be reaching out to us mightily, and there's going to be a great move of the Spirit of God.
Date 18th and 19th February 2021 by 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily. Generational Impact 2021 Apostle Johnson Suleiman, happening at Filin Sukua Horse Race Field, Benin Kebbi, Kebbi State, Nigeria. For inquiries, please call. Grace is available.
Welcome sports news. And on football, Mbappe hits hat-trick as PSG beat Barcelona 4-1. Kylian Mbappe reached Barcelona apart by scoring his stunning hat-trick in a 4-1 road to put Paris Saint-Germain on the brink of the Champions League quarterfinals. Mbappe underlined his status as the calming superstar of world football with a ruthless display of finishing at Camp Nou that will go down as one of this competition's most devastating individual performances. The 22-year-old eclipsed Barca's Lionel Messi, whose opening goal from the penalty spot had been reduced to nothing more than a footnote by the final whistle. Moise Kean also headed in midway through the first half, carelessly left unmarked from a free kick as PSG pulled away to win this first leg and perhaps the tie. Barcelona will no doubt draw upon the spirit of their astonishing remontada in 2017 when they won the second leg 6-1 to overturn a 4-0 deficit from the opening game in Paris. It will certainly serve as a warning for PSG, but without fans and with Mbappe, any hopes of a repeat for the Ronald Koeman side from look faint at best. Koeman had gambled on the fitness of Gerard Piqué, who had not played a game in almost 3 months due to knee ligament injury. But to rub salt into the wounds, Piqué toured off late on just as PSG were running riot. In another sports news, quickly, Brady beats Pegula to make Australian Open semis. Big 7 Jennifer Brady staged a comeback free-set victory over fellow American Jessica Pegula to book an Australian Open semi-final with Carolina Muchova. The 22nd seed cast friendship aside and finished strongly with a 4-6, 6-2, 6-1 win on Rod Laver Arena and will now face Czech 25th seed Muchevo and who earlier stunned world #1 Ashe Barty. Brady is the last woman standing among those forced into a hard 14-day quarantine after arriving in Australia. Brady, who had only been broken twice in a tournament before the match, was under pressure from Pegula, who won 14 points in a row to dominate the early exchanges in humid conditions. Brady 25 slammed down 4 straight aces in the 7th game, but her serve then became errant as Pegula sealed the first set. Brady skipped out to a 3-0 lead in the second as she eyed forcing a decider, but relinquished her advantage and threw her rackets in frustration after losing a point. The outburst, much like Novak Djokovic, seemed to refocus Brady, who then ran away to take it to a deciding set. For this decision can now use seeing it to public culture raise so hard of you see of it can be pressed not or pressed